Hello and welcome to Freedom Watch, your daily dose of raw liberty, streaming online at foxnews.com. I'm your host, Judge Andrew Napolitano, here defending freedom, defending your natural rights, and defending your right to have a government that stays within the confines of the Constitution. Republican candidates all across the country are feeling energized following Senator-elect Scott Brown's win in Massachusetts. Here on this show, I've interviewed many candidates who, like the senator-elect, are dissatisfied with the current administration. I've also interviewed candidates who, unlike Senator-elect Brown, are simply fed up with the entire political atmosphere and would rather see an America as it was envisioned by our founding fathers, one based on personal freedom, limited government, and fidelity to the Constitution. One of those candidates is Jesse Kelly, a Republican candidate running in Arizona's 8th Congressional District. Jesse, it's a pleasure. Welcome back to Freedom Watch.
It's great to be back, Judge.
I think your race is a bellwether of sorts. You are so well versed in the issues. You are so utterly devoted to the Constitution. And yet, the last time we spoke, you told me the Republican leadership is so opposed to you. Is that still the case, or are they starting to come around?
Well, it depends on what you define as leadership, Judge. See, the people I view as my leaders are people like Congressman Mike Pence, Trent Franks, Duncan Hunter, Michelle Bachmann, these people who do love the Constitution and will adhere to it, and these people are solidly behind us. That's why they've endorsed our candidacy out here. The others, those who may not view the Constitution as being the supreme law of the land that it is, well, they may have other feelings about our candidacy, but we feel fine with the leaders that we do have here.
Will we ever see a Republican Party like the one, the standard bearer of it in 1964 came from your beautiful state of Arizona, Senator Barry Goldwater, that really stands for the primacy of the individual, for a set of governmental areas that the federal government must stay in and can't go outside of, for the sovereignty of the states, for the concept of natural rights, for the free market, for fidelity to the Constitution? Or are people like you and Ron Paul and I the only ones who talk about the Constitution today?
Judge, not only will we see that, we're about to see it soon. It is coming. I know a lot of people are nervous that next November is going to be a Republican revolution with the same old big spending, big government Republican Party. I really feel we're on the verge of something great here, Judge. Liberty lovers across this nation are running for office. They're getting behind people running for office. I cannot believe America is done. Our best days are in front of us. We're about to see that now. We're taking this country back with conservatism.
When you confront voters who are familiar with the establishment attitudes in both parties, and they're looking for a piece of the pie, and instead of promising them a piece of the pie, you promise them more freedom for themselves, how do they react to that?
You know, they react great, Judge, because it is a question you get in a lot of different places. What are you going to bring home to district? What are you going to bring home to the state of Arizona? And I tell them, I'm going to bring you the freedom to make of yourself what you will. That's what this country's about. That's what Barry Goldwater understood. That's what all of them understood, that your job is to strictly adhere to the Constitution and protect the liberty of the people, giving them the freedom to do with their lives whatever they see fit. And that message does resonate, Judge, especially now with this out-of-control spending. People understand government does have a rightful place, and they're getting back to the Constitution.
Tell us about the race in Arizona. Tell us about your race. What are the hot issues out there? For example, are there local issues, or are the hot issues the same ones that are animating everybody else around the country, Jesse?
They're the same ones around the country. Everybody's still concerned, still keeping their ear to the ground about this government takeover of health care. They think it's dying, but we want to make sure that radical takeover bill is dead before we rest on our laurels. But other than that, it's jobs. It's the economy and jobs. And as far as districts specifically down here in southern Arizona, as you may imagine, it's illegal immigration. It's a hot button issue down here. The federal government has not done its duty to secure the border in this nation, and it's something we really care about here in District 8 of Arizona.
Just asking you to look around at those beautiful mountains behind you. Figuratively look at them, not literally, of course. Is John McCain, who was once the standard bearer of the Republican Party, though, in my view, never embraced the Goldwater agenda, Is he in trouble for his own renomination by Republicans in Arizona, perhaps in large measure because of his stance on immigration?
That could be part of it. See, John McCain is in a vicious race right now. It's a four-way race. All four candidates are going after it very, very hard for that other Senate seat here in Arizona. And I don't think anyone, Republican or Democrat, across this country is safe this year as an incumbent. You see this with the Tea Party movement. It has awoken America, and they're ready to take their country back, especially here in Arizona. The Tea Party is alive and well here, and I think all incumbents are in a lot of trouble this year, and they need to campaign accordingly.
Well, you and I know the Tea Party is alive and well because we were at a baseball stadium together in the desert where there wasn't a single empty seat. They were there to see you, not to see me. But back to McCain. I mean, can a person who, quote, suspended his political campaign in order to rush back to Washington to address the economic issues of the day and yet voted for TARP and voted for the stimulus spending, can a person like that possibly claim to embrace the principles of the primacy of the individual and the free market and limited government?
Well, I believe Barry Goldwater and Ronald Reagan and others spoke about this extensively, Judge, about Republicans racing back to talk about conservatism, to talk about adherence to the Constitution when they're in a primary, and then reverting back to form, if you will, once they get back into office. And yes, I think it's going to be a problem for Senator McCain. We'll see now, especially with J.D. Hayworth now jumping into the race. It's now become a national race, something people are keeping their eyes on. And there's no question about it. He may be in trouble in this primary.
How does your race look? What are the latest polls? And by the way, when is the primary?
The primary here is August 24th, so it's a very late primary. It gives people plenty of time to vet their candidates properly. Right now, our race absolutely looks great. Our fundraising is going well. We have over 700 volunteers. Just recently, we had a big spending, big government state senator decide to join the race now that the water's warm. But we are doing very, very well. We feel we're ahead right now. The polls are reflecting that, and life is good here in Arizona.
Jesse Kelly, it's a pleasure. We'll see you in Washington at the Conservative Political Action Conference. We'll be with the real conservatives.
That's right, Judge. Looking forward to it. I hope you're well.
Jesse Kelly, thanks for joining us.